So I haven't made a video in about a month, and I've got a very good reason for that. I've been on holiday for pretty much, well, for 3 weeks of July. I went to Barcelona with Nathan, Alice and Marnie, and then I went to the Azores, Portuguese islands in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean. I went sailing with my girlfriend and her family. I realised, though, a few things. One of my biggest fears is drowning, and another one of my biggest fears is the ocean. I also learned how to sail and did lots of other cool things, but that's the big takeaway from the holiday. When I was on holiday, I had a lot of ideas. I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew how to make it, and I wanted to come home and do it. But when I got home, it just went, and all of the good ideas I had now seemed really crappy. I've spent 4 hours today just trying to make this holiday vlog, and it was just so boring. And it was boring to make, it was boring to watch, there's no substance to it, it was nothing. And that got me thinking about creativity, because creativity is what happened to me on holiday to make me think of these ideas. When I was away from my routine and away from my habits and away from everything that I did like day to day, I had all these amazing ideas and everything could happen, and there was nothing holding me back. But now that I'm back and back to normal, it seems to have put something in the way, and I can't put my finger on what it is. It's important to remember that creativity isn't necessarily something that people are born with. It begs the question really if creativity even exists at all. Or is it just something that you think you have or you don't have? Does it exist, or is it just ideas? Let's find out what. Right now, I'm going to have a shower, I'm going to get ready for bed, and then we'll find out what Google says. So I've showered and I've Googled it, and apparently creativity is the use of imagination or original ideas to create something. Inventiveness. So creativity is just the use of imagination. If you have ideas but do not act on them, you are imaginative but not creative. But Google just said that creativity is using imagination. How does that work? Wow, that's red. Why am I so red? So where does that fit in? I've just had two completely different answers to the question. It's the use of imagination, and it is also not the use of imagination, because if you're using your imagination, you're not creative. I think the takeaway message there is don't listen to it, don't accept it, do what you want to do, and don't define yourself by characteristics that no one can actually define. So I found a shit ton of stuff about creativity on the TED app. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 talks in one called Kickstart Your Creativity, and that's an hour and 23. And then there's another one called a playlist called Simple Ways to Spark Your Creativity. That's an hour and 20. That's got 7 talks. So tonight seems to have just sort of caved into itself, and I've ended up doing not an awful lot. But it's Sunday and I'm tired, so I'm gonna go to sleep. I didn't do anything that I had intended on doing. Oh well, maybe this week will be different. It might not be, but it might be. Alice is back in London now. So this is like, apart from last night, my first night without her. Sleeping by myself for the first time in weeks. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Anyway, see you nice and early tomorrow morning. I'm quite late. I've just finished work after nearly an 11-hour day, so I'm going to get changed and go to the gym because I've been sat at a desk all day. Exercise, for me anyway, it helps me work, it helps me do stuff, it helps me to be more creative, it helps me to concentrate more. There's like a white line, is that from the light? I'll stand here. It helps me to do stuff that I would otherwise probably put off. Like, I don't know what it is about physical exercise that makes me think more. I'm guessing it's got something to do with blood flow, and like you get the blood flowing through your body, you get the blood pumping through your body, and it goes starts pumping in your brain and flowing through your brain, and it just sort of helps you think easier, I guess, and it sort of gets like, it gets the creative juices flowing, if that means anything. But I've definitely found in the past, particularly with uni, that doing exercise would help me concentrate, it would help me to be creative with things. So that's definitely step one. Tip number one, do exercise. So I think I found the answer, or at least an answer. So the idea is that everyone is creative. Like I said last night, everyone is creative and everyone has a creative part inside them. It's called creative confidence, but they lose it when they're going through school, and usually when they're young, through what other people say and what other people think about their work and what they're doing. And like if you were in school one day drawing a picture and someone leaned over you and said, "That's crap, that's awful, what are you doing?" The idea is that it ingrains in you, and as you go through life and get older, it becomes more and more part of who you are, and you just assume that you're not a creative person because, well, basically it's like a fear. It's a fear of being judged, it's a fear of being creative wrongly. Is wrongly a word? Instead of just giving up and saying I'm not a creative type, if people just stuck with the process and stuck with what being creative entailed, then they'd amaze themselves, and they'd amaze the people around them, and the people around them would amaze them. And so it's not a case of not being creative, it's a case of not having the confidence to be creative. Essentially, it's more about a fear of being judged than actually not wanting to do it. It's a fear of what other people around you think. So there's a psychologist called Alfred Bandura. He, for the last I don't know how many years, has specialised in phobias and fears. He did a study where you probably heard of about snakes. He'd bring people who are scared of snakes and tell them, there's a snake in the room next door and we're going to go in there. And then through a series of steps and a series of stages, he'd eventually bring the person who was terrified of snakes, had a phobia of snakes, into the room. Firstly, they'd look at the snake in the room through like a two-way mirror, and then they'd be like in the doorway, and then they'd be in the room, and eventually they'd touch the snake. You might have heard that before, touch the snake, get over your fear basically. Small steps to overcoming what you thought you couldn't do, which he called guided mastery. This is important. I read this, The Winner Effect. The Science of Success and How to Use It by Ian Robertson. Basically, it's about using small steps and small successes to eventually do something big. It's a really good read, and I definitely recommend it. This like step-by-step process and getting over the fear of snakes, it actually led to less anxiety in other areas of life. It led to more resilience and all these amazing other things. And this new confidence that was built through the touching the snake, he termed as a self-efficacy, which is sort of knowing yourself more and allowing that to shine through, which I think is creativity. Building something through these steps. The Winner Effect. It's this book. It's basic. It's the same concept. It's really, really sort of blown my mind a bit. How it all just added up like this. That's how to be creative. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you look more into detail as to what I've been talking about. I'm definitely going to. I think it would be silly not to. I've come this far. If you want to be a creative type, but you don't think that you are, firstly, you're wrong. Secondly, this is how to do it. This is how you do it. How exciting is that? We know how to bring your creativity out. Okay. Honestly, I've never made a video that's been so enjoyable to make. So thanks for watching. I hope that anything I've said has been some help to you. I might make a part 2 because genuinely this was just amazing to make. So thanks for watching and subscribe for more.